credible information that the serialization of 820 printed ballots, that's very important, 820,000 printed ballots was not done correctly and not properly inspected. This has created a dangerous loophole for ballot stuffing through extra or unaccounted for ballots. We are further aware that 30,000 pre-marked ballots have already been dispatched to the targeted battleground areas of Magarini, Malava, and Mbeere North through compromised presiding officers. This strikes at the heart of electoral integrity. Fourth, we have seen extended and illegal campaigns conducted by regime agents well beyond the official campaign period, escorted by police officers and accompanied by hired goons. This is a deliberate attempt to tilt the playing field and subvert the will of the people. Number 5, violence is being prepared and deployed as a tool to cripple these by-elections. There is a well-coordinated scheme involving sections of the police, hired goons, and compromised IEBC officials. In Malava, for example, hired goons reportedly under the command of Lugari MP Mbeere are expected to spark violence using pangas and rungus and other crude weapons. They are to be protected by police, including a special team which has already been dispatched from Nairobi, and we're monitoring their movements, the infamous Subaru unit. Once voting is disrupted, compromised IEBC ballots, compromised IEBC officers and clerks are expected to use that chaos to stuff ballots. We saw this pattern during the Gen Z protests, where police did not stop goons, but actually enabled them. We have again seen police in Narok and Kabuchai captured on camera moving goons and distributing funds. This is a betrayal of the oath to protect. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we stated on November 20th, there is a deliberate plan to misuse mobile phones in polling stations in ways that violate the secrecy of the ballot. The response from IEBC has been weak and insufficient, with the junior officer in Magarini giving a half-hearted explanation to an issue that demands the full attention of the chairperson and indeed the entire commission. Their silence deepens our concern about the integrity of this institution at this critical moment. The IEBC, by failing to address the genuine concerns raised by the opposition and the media, and by neglecting to put in place the necessary remedial measures, continues to cast a long shadow over its own independence. This new commission now stands accused, not by us alone, but by its actions of presiding over a process whose credibility grows more questionable by the day. A democratic, free, and fair election cannot be built on silence, on evasion, or selective action. It must be anchored on justice. We therefore demand that the IEBC rises to the moment and A, confronts and overcomes the challenges facing this by-election. This is the first true test of the new commission. They must either overcome these challenges or be overcome by them, squandering the little trust Kenyans still hold. The commission must assure all Kenyans that it is not entangled with broad-based masters. B, to our supporters across the country, come out in large numbers and vote for all united opposition candidates. Remain peaceful, but also remain vigilant. Document every irregularity and promptly report every form of electoral malpractice witnessed in your constituencies or in your wards. To our agents, you have been prepared for this day. Confirm that all ballot boxes are empty before voting begins. And check even any possibility of open windows where things could have been brought in and sneaked in. Do not abandon your stations until polling is fully concluded. Report every incident, from attempted inducements to photo taking inside booths to any form of voter harassment by police in uniform or in plain clothes. To the media, election observers, and civil society organizations, please maintain maximum vigilance at all polling stations. Shine the light where others attempt to hide the truth. Expose every malpractice. This is what is expected of us as citizens of this country, that we have to dig in for democracy. E, the desperation of this regime is obvious to all. They are hanging by a thread. The writing is on the wall. The die is indeed cast. No amount of public money, no deployment of police, bullets, or tear gas, and no intimidation of opposition leaders and supporters will succeed in silencing the will of the people. And to the broad-based operators clinging to their last straws, let it be known that people have already spoken. At this defining moment, we urge Kenyans to stand firm, stand peaceful, and stand together. Let us prove once again that no force, however desperate, can overcome a united and a determined people. The will of Kenyans is sacred. It cannot be bought, it cannot be bullied, or indeed it can never be broken. Tomorrow, let us vote with courage, guide the vote with vigilance, and move forward with faith, knowing that the truth may be delayed, but it cannot surely be denied. So the 820,000 ballots already printed, they were printed out in Greece, and the policy for by-elections has always been you print locally. The Kenya Literature Bureau, for example, has been in that business. And it is also important to know that no certificate, and we want IEBC to prove us wrong, no certificate of inspection and receipt has been received. So we are aware that this has been a quiet thing. And as we speak, Mr. Marjan is on the ground in Mbeere to try to make sure that what is already been planning, as we said the other day when my colleagues were out on the field, last Thursday in particular, we did point out that Marjan is under instructions of the former commissioner, Professor Guli, who is William Ruto's political advisor on matters to do with IEBC. So IEBC, you are clearly on notice. So please, when the agents are there and the names are read out, I'll give an example. Any vote ya Karis in Mbeere North, if the clerks read Karis, please agents demand to see the marked ballots. And at the end of it, before the presiding officer presses the send button, please ensure that the numbers that have been now kind of identified and announced, yeah, are also the same figure that will get now transmitted by the send button. We are saying this because we are aware in the case of Mbeere North, 15,000 ballots have already been particularly voted. They have already marked them. And so the idea is that they are going to make them, they all be met now at the constituency tallying center. And therefore, because of the lack of serialization, which you have talked about, yeah, anybody can mark and serialize everything. So we are pretty aware, and I must thank Kenyans. Kenyans are very smart. That's why my brother said they cannot be like some of our other neighbors.
This people staff they already pre-marked the pass.
Yeah.
Is it only targeting Mbeere North or is it all area of the
Malava.
We think it can, by the way, we have flagged out those places, but nothing. You remember I talked about 820,000 printed ballots. All right, and each of them is supposed to have a serial number. I wanted to look at that statement.
Is this an isolated case or this has been the trend?
Si ndio nakwambia, ndio najaribu kukujibu kwamba angalia hiyo statement tena, that there is no serialization of those ballots. Wanaanza, we have got this from real time, by the way, on people who are everywhere. Some in Kasipul, right? That were inarukwa serial number, therefore giving, I think those are the numbers zile zimerukwa ndizo wanataka kutumia waweke ballot stuffing, alafu waonyeshe ndizo hizo. Kama unavyosema ndugu Rigiji kwamba ikifika saa 11 usiku, saa moja jioni wanazima mataa na kuintroduce those ballots. That's why we are saying the agents for united opposition wawe macho from 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure the ballot papers are completely empty, to make sure hakuna mtu anaingia pale mwenye silaha, to make sure hakuna mtu agent waangalie kama kuna watu wanaenda kupiga picha kwa secret, to avoid the secrecy of the ballot. Waangalie hiyo yote, wawe macho na wasilale kwa kituo mpaka mambo yajulikane. So that's including what I said, that's absolutely vital, because if the presiding officers under instructions of Marjan are able to press the send button to the constituency tallying center, kwa mfano, or to the ward tallying center, what that will mean is that number may be different from ile imehesabiwa 1 2 3 4. Karisa amepata hii. What is your name, sir? Eric Koenga naye amepata hizi. Sasa inaenda kitu tofauti. So the whole thing is the agents, and we have told our agents to be thorough. Lazima tukomeshe wizi wa kura Kenya hii.
I think for Kabuchai, and we are talking about Kisa East, the main target is actually Malava and Western.
Yeah.
What we do know, the way Rigiji has said, 15,000 pre-marked are headed to Mbeere North. For Malava, we have 10,000. We are aware they have sent 10,000 pre-marked ballots to Malava. And there are specific areas where tonight they're being dispatched. And once they start the violence, the police come in, there's disruption. There are presiding officers who have already been put in the loop, been compromised with that mission of making sure 10,000 ballots that are not for Malava people, that are pre-marked elsewhere, transported into Malava, are stuffed into those ballot boxes. So these we are aware, and 10,000 have also gone to Magarini. Obviously, you can see Mbeere North is the highest target, 15,000. But we are aware, and we took a match. Our agents wakae match. Na wale ambao watahusika kuleta fujo, for Malava we are aware, na Binabwera, ndugu yangu Musalia, ndugu yangu Weta, ndugu yangu Oparanya, we have already lost a life in Kabuchai. There was a death because there was shooting, police bullets, live bullets were used in Kabuchai. There's already bloodshed in Kabuchai, Koitangula. We wouldn't want that to happen again tomorrow or this night. The blood will be on the hands of those who are in charge of that violence, and we know them.
We have monitored even the movement
Yes.
from Thika. Hizi za Mbeere zilianza somewhere in Thika, alafu zikapelekwa kwa DCC office in Mbeere. Tunajua, we are monitoring, and it's Kenyans themselves telling us what is actually happening.
I think
Thank you. Asanteni sana.